Well, Matt, you're one of the solid pillars in our club. You've joined in 2008 in October, and now that we've made it to the 50th anniversary, it's a day of reflection. Do you remember your first day when you started, what it was like, and how have you grown so far?
I do remember, actually. I remember being excited. I remember actually always wanting to be involved in Toastmasters, and I've shared this before where it was really reading actually Peter's books, and he's always plugged in Toastmasters, and also being a long-time employee of BC Tel and TELUS, we've always had clubs and connections to it, so it was one of those, I wouldn't say a bucket list things, but it was one of those items where I want to do it, and when I walked in that room, I knew a handful of people, actually probably half the room. It was like, wow, this is going to be good, and it was very, very rewarding, and it was actually a great start. And to me, Toastmasters is something that aligns with my own desires to be a lifelong learner. And I love the fact that Toastmasters is goal-oriented. We've always got something you could be working on. You get to meet lots of inspiring people. It's one of those organizations that, unknown to me at the time, was so large and so connected. It's really the ultimate network.
Well, you've been a long-time member and a pillar, as I mentioned, and now you're a lifelong learner, so this VP of Education role is perfect for you to keep our club moving and growing. Looking back, what's the best advice you received or best evaluation?
That's a good question. Maybe not so easy to answer. The best advice is to never assume you've made it. To actually know that you always have something to work on. There's always room for improvement. And even when you've reached a certain level of comprehension and even acumen, there's always things you can work on to polish, right? And even some of the Toastmasters goals, right? Even reach your distinguished, or I've heard of people who've done their distinguished a few times over. It's like, it's just so amazing and so inspiring.
When you go to the meetings, what's your favorite role?
To be honest with you, my favorite role is actually the chair. I like the impromptu-ness that's required when you have to do bridging. I enjoy keeping a meeting on track, and I enjoy just that whole role. It's the ultimate Toastmasters role, right? And then it would be the Toastmaster role, and then it would be speaking.
Looking ahead, where do you see the club in 2 years?
I see our club?
Yeah.
Well, we have...
what are the challenges and things we're facing?
To me, I see our club hanging in there. I think we've got, there's a lot of changes coming, right? Like Toastmasters International, which you've helped us sort of just scratch the surface on. There's all sorts of new things coming down education-wise, and Toastmasters is trying to stay with the times and address the need to adopt technology. But I think that one of the struggles of our club is really hasn't hit us yet, and that's just the challenges of our building, where we meet, the changing tendency. Eventually, TELUS is going to locate downtown and will not reside there, so I think we're going to have an ongoing battle to maintain membership, and also we need some new members from the companies that are leasing that building as well. So it's going to be interesting in a few years, to be honest with you.
Well, thanks for sharing that input. I met with your sustainability team, and I know you've decreased 1 million square feet, and they're looking to cut another 400,000, but they still want about 70% to work at home. So we've got that window there. When you look at the club, what do we need to do to get these new members to come into our club? Because Peter Legge spoke about the youth and the young and the challenges. What do we need to do to attract them that maybe they haven't saw us in the past in a different light? Maybe we become a little stale because it's our 50th year. What do we need to do to revitalize and get the youth to say, hey, I want to fit into this? What can we offer them, since you're going to take on a new leadership role, which is the most influential role in the club, by the way?
I don't think I have an answer to that right now. To be honest with you, that whole generation of what we call the millennials, right? They do like their technology. It's something that I think I'll look into to see what we can do. We've got some demographic issues with our club, so let's admit that and be honest about that. I think we need to put in some type of plan to just address that. I know when I joined the club, we actually had quite a few people, I would say, in their early 20s just starting their careers. But at the time also, our TELUS had a lot of engineers in training, also leaders in training, and so we tapped into that and it became part of that. Unfortunately, we have a corporate club now that takes those new youthful people, so we got to come up with some type of strategy to address that.
Last question. I scheduled you, Rob, and John on June 20th to speak all the same day.
Okay.
Italy plays Costa Rica. It's the World Cup soccer. I made that Italian day.
Okay.
Who are you rooting for?
It's given the beautiful game with my half Italian, I always cheer for Italy.
Absolutely. We're all passionate about that. It's going to drive us crazy.
Yes.
Last parting words. We made it to the 50th anniversary. Exactly. It's been a rough battle. We have different personalities. We have people who are more action-oriented, someone like to take a little slow approach. But I think we're going to grow the most out of any club because people are impressed. A small club like us put on a big event like this. I've already heard the compliments and comments, and it's been amazing. We have some new younger people in the club as well. When you look at the next couple of months, you have to plan a speech competition. Any thoughts about how we can make that more popular or more packed? Because in the past we've had 2 or 3 people. What can we do to get more participation?
Good question. The only thing I can think of right now is actually taking over as a VP Ed is actually work individually with people to make sure they have a clear understanding of what their immediate goals are and really help people understand. Like, I'm all about the leadership track. I really think that the contests, organizing those contests, help people along the leadership path and they forget about that. So one of my jobs would be to actually sort of help people build their own little plan and help them understand what they could do to move along that plan, which often could be competing in the contest or helping organize it. Get involved, right? And I'm also about delegating. So I will work to find people and find them people to help them. It's a challenge.
Well, you're a tremendous asset to the club. Thank you so much for the
interview. And thank you, Bill, for all your work. I mean, this event really would not have been possible without you. Like all your hard work, and I know we're very fortunate to have someone with all the time you have to focus and dedicate this.
Well, the time I wonder, but where it comes from. But I start early. Thanks, buddy.